drinking beer and ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. Neglected for now.
10 producers. The people who actually built the music you grew up on.
Like pigs when it comes to a showdown. Puff and puff, but the ox won't get blown down cause I come.
Dr. Dre, RZA, DJ Premier, The Bomb Squad. But here is what nobody told you. One discovers a production technique by accident. That changes how every hip-hop beat is made from 1986 onward.
It's just a mumble. When I'm on the mic, it's like a cookie, they all crumble. Try to get close and you
One builds the most emotionally cited record in hip-hop history on a B-side nobody promoted.
just listen to the funky song.
And one builds a record for a Spike Lee film that the FBI writes a letter about.
Your attention's undivided. Many in the past have tried to do what I did. Just the way I came.
10 producers. 10 stories the credits never told. This is the real history. Number 10, DJ Quick Tonight, 1991. Compton, California, 1991. David Blake, DJ Quick. Releases Quick is the name on Profile Records at 19 years old. Tonight is the album's commercial centerpiece. Smooth, melodic. Built on a live instrumentation approach that separates Quick immediately from the harder drum machine aesthetic dominating West Coast rap at the same moment. Here is the thing. DJ Quick plays most of the instruments on his own records. He is not a producer in the sample and arrange sense. He is a multi-instrumentalist who treats the studio the way a jazz musician treats a bandstand. As a space for real-time creative decisions made by someone who understands music theory from the inside. Here is what is wild about this. Quick as the name goes platinum in 1991 without significant mainstream radio support outside California. It builds its audience through West Coast regional loyalty and the word of mouth of listeners who recognize that what they are hearing is technically extraordinary. DJ Quick goes on to produce for Tupac, Dr. Dre, and dozens of others across 4 decades. But the approach he figures out at 19, live instruments, melodic warmth, rhythmic sophistication, is there fully formed on this debut. Some producers spend years searching for their sound. DJ Quick walks into a studio at 19, and it is already complete. The next entry is built by a producer who builds his sound from everything he has ever listened to. And gives the most important debut verse in hip-hop history its first platform. Number 9. Large Professor Live at the Barbecue, 1991.
While I'm on some pretty tone shit, verbal assassin, my architect pleases. When I was 12, I went
Queens, New York, 1991. William Paul Mitchell, Large Professor.
Slamming MCs on cement, cause verbally, I'm iller than an AIDS patient.
Produces Breaking Atoms for Main Source on Wild Pitch Records.
Fatal is merciful and they curse me when I
Live at the Barbecue is the track the hip-hop underground immediately identifies as the most important thing on the album.
That the auction quick, but I don't sweat it, cause I'm too big for that small shit.
Not because of Main Source, because of 3 guest verses.
Comma, rhyme so dangerous, call for the homicide, cause I knock 'em dead even when I'm at my work.
One of which belongs to a 20-year-old from Queensbridge named Nasir Jones. Here is the thing.
Over like hot tracks. As far as brothers are concerned, I pressure cooker from start to finish. I demand.
Live at the Barbecue is the first documented recorded appearance of Nas.
Fire out your ass so fast, you'll be as crispy as my man Bill Blass.
The verse he delivers at 20 on a large Professor beat is already operating at a level
Plugs from my brain just like a rifle. Stampede the stage, I leave the microphone split. Play Mr. Tough.
that makes producers and MCs in New York stop and listen differently. Large Professor hears something in Nas that he cannot hear in anyone else at that moment.
That's what separates me from the petty.
And he produces the majority of Illmatic, the album most critics call the greatest rap debut ever recorded, 2 years later. Large Professor himself is one of the most technically gifted producers of the golden era.
Speaking real words, my thoughts react like Steven Spielberg's poetry attacks.
His sample selection, drum programming, and sonic architecture on Breaking Atoms establish an approach that influences a generation of New York producers who come after him.
Like a piranha, so say them preschool rhymes for the kids of Wonderama. Point blank, period, with no.
But because his most celebrated work exists in service of other people's careers, Nas, Rakim, Eric B. His own contributions are consistently undervalued in mainstream accounts of the decade.
The help for snuffing Jesus. Nasty Nas is a rebel to America. Police murderer, I'm called.
Some producers build monuments for other people and never get to put their name on the front.
I move swift and uplift your mind. Shoot the gift when I rip and rhyme. Rap and snipe.
Large Professor builds Nas, and Nas builds everything else.
I grip the mic, I show no mercy. I got heart, I rip the party apart from the scenes.
The next entry builds something the entire album format has never seen before. Number 8. Prince Paul, Me, Myself, and I, 1989.
Can it be my daylight clothes or is it just my daylight soul? What I do ain't
Amityville, New York, 1989. Paul Houston, Prince Paul.
One style, and my plug, one spectacle. You say plug 1 and 2 are hit these.
Produces 3 Feet High and Rising for De La Soul on Tommy Boy Records. Me, Myself, and I is the album's most commercially accessible track.
on the soul, they lie that. Style is surely our own thing, not the fourth.
Warm, playful, and built on a funkadelic sample that sits inside the groove rather than dominating it.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory for plug 1 and 2.
But here's the thing. Prince Paul's production philosophy on this record is not about showcasing samples.
Cause they try to mess with third degree, that's me, myself, and I.
It is about building worlds. The album is structured like a game show, with skits, interludes, and character voices connecting the tracks into a single cohesive experience that no hip-hop album before 1989 attempts.
It's just me, myself, and I.
Prince Paul essentially invents the hip-hop skit as a compositional device.
It's just me, myself, and I.
Every album that uses skits and interludes to create atmosphere and narrative, from Thechronic to Ready to Die to The College Dropout,
It's just me, myself, and I.
owes something specific to what he figures out on this record in 1989. He treats the album as a format rather than a collection of singles. Here is the gut punch.
They diss my person by stating I'm darkly packed. I know this, so I point.
Prince Paul produces one of the most structurally innovative hip-hop albums ever made. And is largely absent from mainstream conversations about the greatest producers of his era.
It's just me, myself, and I.
The invention is everywhere. The inventor is forgotten.
No, we're not just pure plug bull. Always pushing that we formed an image. There's no.
Some producers change the medium, and the medium moves on without them. The next entry changes the medium and gets remembered exactly as it deserves.
Skies of showbiz, they lie soul is from the soul. And in fact, I can't deny.
If you are still here, you already know this channel is not built for algorithm highlights and 30-second clips.
That glory's been denied by Cassids and Gookie eyes. People think
You are here for the real story. Here is what is wild.
chestnuts in my path. Just keep all nuts with the nuts so I don't get in.
Most people watching right now will not subscribe. They will get the knowledge, and Rewind Sonic disappears from their feed forever.
It's just me, myself, and
Which means when we drop the next video, they will never see it. Rewind Sonic is not for everybody.
I got to do something on this dead track. Ain't gonna let the track house you. What? You let these tracks.
But if you are still here, it is definitely for you. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the next chapter. Real recognize real. Back to the list. Number 7, QTip. Award Tour, 1993. Queens, New York, 1993. Jonathan Davis, QTip.
Let me take it to the Queen side. I'm taking it to Brooklyn side. All the residents
Produces Midnight Marauders for a Tribe Called Quest on Jive Records.
because of where it's so run and tell the others cause we are the brothers. I learned how to build my
Award Tour opens the album with a jazz-inflected groove and a horn sample.
we slid into place. Buddy, 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 all up in your face. A lot of kids is busting rhymes, but they
That sounds like it was built specifically for QTip's own delivery. Here's the thing.
off the path is not that. Here's the dance floor. Come move that. Non-believers, you can check the
QTip is producing, writing, and rapping simultaneously across the Tribe catalog. The Low-End Theory, People's Instinctive Travels, Midnight Marauders. He is the sonic architect of all three. Building a body of work that functions as a complete creative vision rather than a series of separate projects.
do that, that. Do that, do that, do that. I'm bugging out, but let me get
Here is what is wild about this. QTip builds space into the beat.
coming less. Sky's the limit. You got to believe up in quest. Sit back, relax, get up.
He leaves room for the bass, the voice, and the silence to exist as separate elements rather than competing for the same frequency.
people give you ear, so I be sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in the concubines.
That approach, treating restraint as a production tool rather than a limitation, is one of the most influential ideas in hip-hop production history.
In the jam, I never let a statue tell me how nice I am. Coming with more hits than the Braves and
Jay Dilla, Madlib, and Questlove all cite it directly as a primary influence on their own work. Here is the gut punch. Phife Dawg passes away in March 2016.
Quickly, I'm Mario Andretti on the Momo. Ludicrously speedy or infectious with the slow-mo. Heard me
The chemistry between QTip's production and Phife's delivery cannot be recreated.
angle, acute at that. So do that, do that, do that, that. Come on, do that, do that.
The Warmth Inside Award Tour exists because two people who grew up together in Queens bring a shorthand into the studio that no session musician can replicate.
they had no taste. Some said Quest was whack, but now is that the case? I have a quest to have on
Some records are built in studios. Some are built in friendships.
the stats. I roll with Shaheed and the brother Abstract. Know the time when Quest is
And the next entry is built by a man who discovers the foundation of an entire production era entirely by accident. Number 6, Marl. The Symphony, 1988. Queensbridge, New York, 1988. Marlon Williams, Marl,
Better rock this at the drop of a dime, baby. I don't know what yo.
is the first hip-hop producer to understand that the drum machine can be reprogrammed.
When it flowing just like a river. I got a whole lot to give, so I'm a giver. Little at a time.
In the mid-80s, he discovers by accident that individual drum sounds can be sampled from existing records and loaded back into the Roland SP-12.
I rock the rhymes like I always used to, but you jumped on the tip when you heard me in the Juice Cruise.
Creating a drum palette that sounds warmer and more human than anything the factory presets produce.
To be the best in all rap events, and since I have a car, I call experience.
Here's the thing. That accident in a Queens apartment fundamentally changes how hip-hop beats are constructed from that moment forward.
Front page, read the headline, suckers, the day's the deadline. Your head is way past.
Before Marl, most producers use the drum machine exactly as it comes from the manufacturer.
It's a small thing. I've written many places on regular basis and broken down mics
After Marl, everyone starts sampling individual drum sounds from vinyl. The entire sonic character of New York hip-hop production from 1986 onward is shaped by a mistake.
I don't care who's first or who last, but I know that y'all just...
Here is what is wild about this. The symphony brings Masta Ace, Craig G, Cool G Rap, and Big Daddy Kane together over one of his beats.
Apologize. Oh yeah, and can I have your autograph for me and my grandma?
Four of the most technically gifted MCs in New York on a single track. That assembly is possible because Marl runs the Juice Crew and has relationships with every major MC in Queens. He is not just a producer, he is an infrastructure. Here is the gut punch. DJ Premier, T.R.O.Y, Large Professor, and every major New York producer of the 90s builds on the approach Marl figures out by accident. They study his drum programming. They study his sample selection. They build careers on a foundation he does not even know he is laying. Some inventions change the world. Some change the sound. Marl changes the sound, and the world follows. The next entry builds something from grief that changes the emotional standard of the genre forever. Number 5, T.R.O.Y. T.R.O.Y, 1992. Mount Vernon, New York, 1992. Peter Phillips, T.R.O.Y.
But I really got beatings with the girl of drama. In single parenthood, there I stood by.
Builds the beat for They Reminisce Over You from a Tom Scott saxophone loop.
Listen, positive over negative for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rising.
Warm, patient, aching the way grief actually aches.
So who am I to pick up? Not a bad tinker, but I'm clocking pop's liver. But you can never say.
Not in a straight line, but in circles that keep returning to the same moments.
This man the cuss hear it all in verbatim, telling me how to raise my boy unless he's taking over.
The record is a tribute to Troy Dixon, Trouble T.R.O.Y.
The fitness, take the first letter out of each word in this joint. Listen close as I prove my point.
A dancer who dies in a fall on tour in 1990 at 22 years old.
Enough respect to when they reminisce over you. Listen.
Here is the thing. T.R.O.Y. does not just sample the Tom Scott loop. He transforms it. The original is a film score cue.
It's hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house.
In T.R.O.Y.'s hands, it becomes something that sounds like memory itself.
I can hear his head banging on the wall in the next room. I get the pillow and hope I don't wake him.
Like the specific feeling of trying to hold on to a moment that keeps slipping. Not finding a sample and looping it.
And it don't stop.
Finding a sample and making it say something it was never built to say.
I reminisce for a spell.
That is the producer's art at its highest level. Here is what is wild about this. T.R.O.Y. is released as a B-side. The A-side gets the promotional push.
Standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the brew. When they reminisce.
The B-side gets the culture. It reaches number 43 on the Billboard Hot 100 entirely through DJ rotation and word of mouth. No radio campaign, no music video budget that matches its impact.
Of October, a toast, but my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers in the toes now.
Here is the gut punch. Nas, Common, Talib Kweli, and QTip all cite T.R.O.Y.
While the baby make us slide, but mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids
as the hip-hop record that made them feel something they could not explain.
in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God.
T.R.O.Y. builds a B-side tribute to a 22-year-old dancer.
That his life is through. 5 kids at 21, believe he got a right to. Here we go while
And it becomes the emotional standard that a generation of MCs measures their own work against. list.
But I said pop maybe when you're older. We laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man
Some records go to number 1. Some records become the reason people make music.
T to the R.O.Y. How did you and I meet in front of Big Lou's fighting in the street?
The next entry builds one of the most creatively complete worlds in hip-hop history from a basement with a 5-year plan. Number 4, RZA Cream, 1993. Builds the Enter the Wu-Tang sessions from a basement in Park Hill with equipment most professional studios would not keep in storage.
I beat back the shape of the streets to stay awake to the ways of the world.
Cream samples the Charmel's 1967 soul record and transforms it into something dark, dusty, at that moment.
Everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash,
Here's the thing. RZA gives himself a 5-year plan.
cash rules, everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar.
He tells every Wu-Tang member that if they trust him completely, creatively and contractually,
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job.
he will make them all stars. Every single one of them trusts him. Here's what is wild about this.
Mine, I ain't gonna check now. Bow, move from the gate now.
Cash rules, everything.
RZA negotiates solo deal clauses for all 9 Wu-Tang members as part of their Loud Records contract.
That's the time when I'm not depressed, but I'm still depressed. And I ask, what's it worth?
Meaning every member can sign with a competing label simultaneously while remaining part of the collective. That single business decision generates hundreds of millions of dollars in individual deals across the following decade.
I'm low sweater, times is rough and tough like leather. Figured out I went the wrong route.
RZA is not just a producer. He is a strategist. He is an architect.
Be so rough, but as the world turned, I learned life was hell. Living in the world.
He is the executive of a creative empire built in a basement.
Cash rules, everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo.
Here is the gut punch. Old Dirty Bastard, Russell Jones.
Rules, everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo.
Passes away in November 2000 of Wu-Tang that records Enter the Wu-Tang exists for a brief window that RZA designs and controls.
Everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo.
It's been 22
Some records document a moment. Cream documents a world that only exists once.
destination, handcuffed in back of a bus. 40 of us, life as a shorty shouldn't.
The next entry documents the moment a producer becomes the commercial standard for an entire coast by walking away from everything that made him famous. Number 3, DJ Premier. Mass Appeal, 1994.
No way, yo.
Houston
And all the suckers get pushed back when I'm kicking real fat.
and builds the entire beat from that one fragment. Nothing added, no padding, no decoration.
And they all know how I feel. The suckers be like playing themselves to have massive.
Just the element that carries the maximum emotional weight stripped of everything that competes with it. Here's what is wild about this. By the time Mass Appeal
Lines like rifles go blast when I kick something. A lot of rappers be like one-time wonders.
is released, Premier has already produced for Nas, Biggie, and Jeru the Damaja.
Strictly deaf and connecting, complete mic record. No double checking, vocals kill like weapons.
He goes on to produce for Jay-Z, Big L, Rakim, and Kendrick Lamar.
Word is born, I go on and on. For you it's tragic, I got magic like Ron.
His catalog spans 5 decades, and every record in it is built. Guru passes away in April 2010.
And you'd be happy as hell to get a record deal. Maybe your soul you'd sell to have massive.
The specific creative partnership between Premier's production and the measured weight of Guru's delivery dies with him.
But I get props like a slogan, and no man could ever try to diss when I kicks my jam.
What remains is one of the most consistent and studied production catalogs in the history of the genre. Built on removal, built on restraint, built on the courage to trust that less is always more.
Because I don't need
But a GThang, baby, too low.
Compton, California, 1992. Andre Young, Dr. Dre.
No loving good enough to get burned while I'm up in it. Yeah. And that's realer than real deal, holy fit.
Releases Thechronic on Death Row Records immediately after a bitter and public departure from NWA and Ruthless Records.
the selection. Symbolizes don't take a toke, but don't choke. If you do, you have no.
Nothing But a GThang is built on a Leon Haywood sample.
Gangsta lean, getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens. It's the capital S-O.
Delivered at a slower tempo than almost anything on New York radio at that moment.
Show attention, mobbing with the dog pound.
Bow wow wow.
Dropping the funky tracks is making a sucker.
And introduces a 20-year-old from Long Beach named Calvin Broadus to the world. Snoop Dogg. Here is the thing. Dre does not position himself as the rapper on Thechronic. He positions himself as the producer and curator.
And at the same time burning her, man. Now if she burning, I'ma chill for a minute, 'cause ain't
The director who builds sonic environments that bring out the best version of whatever voice walks into them.
It's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and we ain't got no love.
That creative philosophy reshapes how hip-hop albums are conceived and marketed for the following decade.
Time to get smacked. My little homie Snoop Doggy Dogg has got my back. Never let me slip, 'cause if I
Here is what is wild about this. Thechronic reaches number 3 on the Billboard 200
so please don't try to fake this. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfect.
and is later certified diamond. Nothing But a GThang reaches number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
I kick, you know, and I know I feel some more funky shit to add to my collection.
The G-Funk aesthetic Dre builds, slower tempo, melodic bass lines, Parliament funkadelic samples, synthesizer warmth,
Then you don't stop. I told you I'm just like a clock when I tick and I talk, but I'm never
dominates West Coast commercial hip-hop production for the next 5 years and influences production globally.
Dog and Dr. Dre is at the dope, ready to make an entrance, so back on up.
before I have to pull.
Dre builds his entire commercial comeback on an aesthetic that sounds nothing like what made him famous.
Me, they got a trick, I have to find a contraceptive. You never know, she could be earning her, man, and learning.
He walks away from the sound of NWA and builds something completely new.
Santa, Drake creep to the mic like a fan.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping.
And the new thing becomes bigger than anything that comes before it.
With a producer who can rap and control the maestro at the same time with the dope rhyme that I.
That willingness to abandon what worked and start over completely is as important as the production itself. The next entry never starts over. It charges directly at the most powerful institutions in the country and dares them to respond. Number 1, The Bomb Squad. Fight the Power, 1990. Long Island, New York, 1989. Spike Lee is making Do the Right Thing. He calls Chuck D and asks for the most confrontational, most politically charged hip-hop record that can be written for the film. Chuck D writes Fight the Power in 3 days. Then Hank Shockley, alongside Eric Sadler, Keith Shockley, and Chuck D himself, builds the production. What they construct is not a beat in any conventional sense. It is a sonic collision. Dozens of samples stacked on top of each other simultaneously. James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, Bobby Bird, Trouble Funk. Running at a density that sounds like a protest march with a full sound system behind it. Here is the thing. The Bomb Squad's production technique on Fight the Power is so sample dense that it could not be legally cleared and released today. The copyright litigation that follows similar productions across the early 90s permanently changes how sampling is cleared in American music law. The world this production builds is legally impossible to reconstruct. It is a historical document of a production era that the courts close before the decade ends. Here's what is wild about this. The FBI reportedly monitors Public Enemy during this period. Fight the Power is played repeatedly throughout Do the Right Thing. Blasting from the boombox carried by Radio Raheem. Whose death at the hands of police is the film's central tragedy. A song about fighting institutional power plays on loop during scenes of institutional violence against a black man. Spike Lee does not choose that coincidence by accident. Here is the gut punch. Fight the Power is not a hip-hop record. It is a document. A document of the late 80s, the crack epidemic, police brutality, Black America's relationship with a government that has consistently failed it. The Bomb Squad builds that document in sound. Chuck D delivers it in language. And together they create something that a film director, a federal law enforcement agency, and 35 years of cultural history have all confirmed is too important to ignore. Ten producers, each one building something the genre is still living inside. And the one at the top builds something the whole country is still living inside. Some productions make hits. The Bomb Squad makes history. 10 producers. The people behind everything you grew up on. How many did you know before today? Drop your number in the comments. And drop the producers you want covered on the next test. Subscribe so you never miss one. Rewind Sonic, where hip-hop history never fades. Thank you for always watching.